Pull-ups are the king of calisthenics pulling exercises, and for good reason. They basically recruit every single muscle fiber in your entire back and include your arms and shoulders as well, especially so when it comes to the more advanced variations. However, what if you can't feel your back when you're doing your pull-ups? What if your arms are taking the brunt of the force and your back is barely developing? So today we're going to find out how exactly you can correctly engage your entire back musculature when going through your pulling exercises, and what cues you need to keep in mind for perfect execution and much faster development and progress. So if you're ready, let's go have some fun. Now let's get the easiest problem out of the way first. If you're using an underhand grip, you are performing a chin-up and not a pull-up, which is a biceps dominant exercise. So you need to use an overhand grip if you truly want to feel your back. Now, it's almost all in your hands. Quite literally, because making the tiniest adjustments in how you grip the bar will help you align the rest of your body for perfect execution. Having already established that we need to use an overhand grip, when you grab the bar and lower into your hanging position, try visualizing yourself bending the bar towards the floor, which is going to start aligning your shoulders from an internal rotation to a somewhat neutral or slightly external rotation. So if this is your bar and this is our grip, we are actively bending the bar like so to get our shoulders in place when it comes to our rotator cuffs. Since hanging loosely from the bar usually pushes people into internal shoulder rotation, we are now actively moving into external rotation to lock our shoulders into the right place. The mistake that holds most of the people back when it comes to their pull-up progress being their sloppy or total lack of correct scapular engagement and their control over their scapular positioning. So before you start pulling up like a maniac, you need to learn how to work on both scapular adduction as well as depression and scapular elevation as well as abduction in a hanging position. Working on your scapular positioning will be the most important thing when it comes to not only working on classic pull-ups, but also on more advanced variations. So one thing that you should definitely add to your repertoire is both symmetrical scapular pull-ups, moving with both shoulders at the same time, and unilateral scapular pull-ups, which are going to make up the foundation of our archer and typewriters, as well as help us develop a better mind-muscle connection when it comes to scapular positioning. This way, when you go to execute the movement, you can already start with scapular engagement and then move into your pulling motion before you reverse into a complete hang, scapular engagement, and repeat. I'm not exaggerating that if you can lock this in, you will see some insanely fast results in your pulling game. Moving us to the next very crucial mistake. What the fuck are you doing with your elbows? Flaring your elbows outwards will put almost all of the pulling pressure on your arms and release almost all of it from your back musculature, which is the exact opposite of what we want to do. So, putting the things together, we've already learned: bend the bar towards the floor, locking in your shoulders. Number 2, move into scapular adduction as well as depression, and then pull your elbows closer to each other, putting as much pressure on your back musculature and engaging pretty much every single muscle fiber in an expertly executed pulling motion. And if you try the difference out by keeping your hands loosey-goosey and flaring your elbows outwards, you will instantly see the difference in execution, and you will instantly feel the shift from your arm musculature to your back musculature. Just those 3 cues will make a world's difference in your pull-up game and will help you advance much faster. Now, we all know the longer our movement, the more muscle fibers we can recruit, meaning if we have a short range of motion, we will leave a lot on the table compared to if we have the full range of motion. And that does not just include a complete dead hang before we engage our shoulders once more, but that also includes at the very top a full lock-in and completely flexing our entire musculature throughout the full range of motion. If you're leaving even a single inch of potential range of motion, you're leaving gains on the table that belong to you. And combining full range of motion with complete engagement throughout the execution will help you recruit much more muscle mass and become way stronger, way faster. And there is one simple trick that can help you engage your entire back musculature when you are at the top of the movement. Even if you can't feel your back at the very moment, once you are at the very top of the pull-up, I want you to pull your elbows backwards and start arching your back the tiniest bit. It doesn't have to be a full arch, just a little bit. And pulling your shoulders back will help you add a lot more engagement, or the tiniest bit that is left if you already have very good form. So instead of keeping our elbows both closed and at the very front, just at the top of the movement, slightly backwards and arch your back the tiniest bit. Adding a lot of spinal erector engagement to our latissimus and trap engagement, and putting everything we've learned together, we now have an insane amount of engagement of every single muscle fiber in our entire back musculature. Now, the hardest thing about all of these is actually just putting all of them together and keeping all of this stuff in your mind while you're going through what is basically a movement of 1 to 2 seconds. So one thing that can make this a lot easier for you is work on all of these separately. Not for a lot, not for too long, but just a handful of times so you can develop the necessary feeling of how this feels in your own body. So you're gonna just grab a bar and start bending. Hold for 10, 20, 30 seconds, release, take a short break, do it a second and a third time, just until you feel what it does with your arms and shoulders. Then you can start adding just the scapular pull-up, hold until you feel how your body engages and where exactly you feel it in the movement. And then you can add the isometric hold at the top by pushing your elbows backwards and arching your lower back the tiniest bit, and just go through each and every one of those cues separately, even if that is your full training routine and you don't do a single pull-up on that day. Trust me, that will still help you advance a lot faster than if you were doing them with bad form. If you're just as obsessed with pull-ups as I am and you're not content with simply being able to do classic beginner pull-ups, you can check out this video where we go from the most beginner pull-up variations to some of the most advanced pulling exercises you have ever seen in a very simple, easy to follow, step-by-step progression. And if you like this video, like the video and come on, subscribe. We do stuff like that almost every single day, which means I'll probably see you very soon. So until then, have a good one. Captain Cairo, peace out.